What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Gem Mint Collectibles, and we are here with the Loki Episode 4, the Nexus event live discussion. As always, I got my crew with me. We're going to bring on the first of many panelists, Very Gary. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm excited. We got a really good group tonight. I'm stoked for this one for a great episode.
For sure, man. And we have 2/3 of Pressable Defects. We got Matt Forge and Guy Forge. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, Gem? Gary, what's up? Glad to be back after a week off. Guys, if you're in that stream, hit that thumbs up because we're gonna drop some knowledge on you tonight.
I'm just excited to be here.
I was telling the defects that last episode I think was the most fun we had, and they were like, "Dang, that's the one we weren't on."
I had to give him I had to bust his balls a little bit. I'm like, "Come on, Gem. You said it's the most fun. I wasn't there. That's messed up."
All right, and we got straight from the Black Widow premiere or early screening. We got Michael Roman from Everything Always. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
You look good on camera giving that movie review, brother.
Appreciate it, man. It was the suit doing all the work.
He was GQ for the event. I like it.
Yep.
Now I got two of my co-hosts. I'm his co-host on his channel. We got Comic Tom. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, Geminites? Good to see everybody on here. I think we may have one of the best episodes to discuss yet, so you're in for a fun one.
My notes are extensive. And then we're going to bring on the co-host on my channel where we do the top 10 comics of the week, Rocket Robbie Billups. What's up, bro?
What's up? Thanks for having me back. And I'm excited to chat with these distinguished gentlemen about Loki. It's a TV show on Disney Plus, if you've heard of it.
Yeah, and in case you haven't, this is going to be full of spoilers. We're going to break down the entire episode. My notes are very long. And we're also going to have Benny from Comic Storian on. He's dual streaming on his channel, so we'll be on there as well. And when he comes in, we'll pop him on. But first of all, because Matt, you weren't here last week. Guy, you were here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So, Matt, what can I get out of you from episode 3? What were your overall thoughts? You want to just maybe give your grade on it since we've been kind of tracking that throughout?
Yeah. I'll just do it quick. So I was with Benny that I was extremely disappointed, and I don't want to get too far ahead. So my grade because of episode 4 for episode 3 is going to be a little lower. I'm gonna give it a 7. It was entertaining, but I thought it was a little sloppy. So I'm hoping for episode 5 and 6 to clean it up a little bit. Still, I still have my fingers crossed that we're going to get an explanation for some of the stuff we saw in episode 3.
Yeah, straight up. And shout out to Fee Mint, of course, my real life co-host. She's chilling downstairs, holding it down. What's going on? So what's going on, everybody watching live, everybody watching on the replay? I guess we'll go scene by scene, right? We'll figure out what's going on here. I guess what I want to kind of bring up first is a lot of people thought episode 3 had a lot to do with enchantment. We thought maybe Loki was enchanting Sylvie, and this guy, I really want to get his thoughts on it. Ben, what's going on?
There he is. There's the guy.
Okay.
Like,
I didn't say anything like if my theory was wrong, I was gonna have to eat like weird food, did I?
Good, right?
Thank God.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So, guys, without getting too much into episode 4, with how episode 4 panned out, how do you feel about episode 3, Benny? Is it the letdown? Is it the 2 out of 10 that you thought it was going to be, or did it kind of do something different?
It is a 2 out of 10. It is definitively a 2 out of 10. And here's my biggest reason.
I'm gonna come at you when you're done, though. But go
Okay,
ahead.
I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
The opening part of that episode, the opening part of this episode 4 could have been in 3 and redeemed it. Where they got to, they ended up going back and they dealt with all of that stuff. I felt like instead of just giving us 5 solid episodes, instead of giving us a long episode 3 and a short episode 4, they put everything into 4, and 3 was just dragging on without revealing anything. And then 4 was like reveal. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
And then it was like debated, reveal. I'm like, what? No.
You literally
So
came in
in
the last episode saying you were gonna set the show on fire if you were wrong. Okay, you were so loud, by the way, and not that you're not loud now, but like you were adamant that you were gonna set the show on fire if you were wrong. So I'm not saying you were wrong, but
The one thing I think the saving grace from your 2 of 10 was the fact that it wasn't just they showed up and saved them. No, the Loki's actually
it mattered.
Something for them, a Nexus event for them to find them. And not only did they cause a Nexus event, they caused a Nexus event that no one's ever seen before. Something completely different.
I think that right there is foreshadowing. I mean, we know something's going to happen. Multiverse is going to start. What would be the best way to cause that to happen, it would probably be something good, something like love, something that you want to happen, but it's going to have some ramifications. Are we going to see the Lokis get together?
Isn't that a terrible plot point, though? Doesn't that take a potential female Loki? Oh, she's a variant, and she's doing all this crazy stuff, and no, she's just there to be a love interest for the other Loki. Let's not make it weird. Don't overthink it. Like,
I have another theory here. So we
have a huge question after Gary's done. Go ahead, Gary.
So it kind of opens, and Jem, I don't want to steal your thunder here, but we open up kind of, not only do we see that, but you get a little bit of the origin of female Loki, right? Is it possible that Thor Love and Thunder, that Jane Foster came from this female Loki's universe, and there's a female Thor as Jane Foster and a female Loki? Or am I grasping here?
Question.
I think that's too complex for MCU.
I agree, but I do like that idea.
Right? Because are they going to sideline Thor for the entire Thor Love and Thunder while Jane Foster is Thor? Because that would be kind of lame, right?
No, I don't think they're going to do that, but I do think there'll be a multiverse moment where maybe Jane Foster Thor comes out and was from the same place as female Loki.
Or from another one, or from another reality.
One.
Yeah, right. That's actually a cool idea, because it's hard to think of this Jane Foster in the MCU becoming the Jane Foster that was Thor.
Well, she has stated that she's going to go through the whole Jason Aaron cancer, arc.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be serious, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Jem, it's not like they would fake us out or anything like that. It's not like they would kill Loki and put a female. She's gonna be the lead, guys. By the way, I have a question for you guys real quick, because I'm very annoyed by this. I didn't watch the mid-credit scene until I was doing my first review that I had to do with a different channel. Like, I didn't even know it existed. And
so you were pissed.
I was mad. And then on top of that, and then I found out about the mid-credit scene, I was even more mad. Like, stop.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, stop throwing it why? No, either do them or don't. Stop just randomly doing them.
Nothing matters.
I feel like for the last 2 or 3 episodes of each series, we're getting them now. So the first half
that's
of
kind of how it happens.
Nothing, and then they start to show up.
Because the cliffhangers are too strong towards the end of these series, like WandaVision and Loki. It's like they gotta give us something. So before we start episode 4, let's just clear everything out with episode 3. My final thoughts on episode 3 are you needed to build the relationship between Loki and Sylvie. You needed to make it believable that they would kind of fall for each other. So they dedicated a whole episode of them together going through this, life or death situation. Nobody was enchanted. I still liked episode 3. Anyone have final thoughts on it before we move on to episode 4?
I'm still good with the way it was.
I still dislike it, honestly. I feel like what you're stating is right. We needed to have that relationship, but you could have easily done 20 minutes of that. And then the other 20 minutes was them going back to the TVA and developing that. I feel like they just dragged we're making a relationship out.
A little too cheesy for me. There's just too much. Loki's now super overpowered, can lift buildings. What's that now? I mean, I don't know. I think that it was wasted potential.
Well, I did watch a couple of videos where they showed Loki do something like that inside the same prison that we were talking about in Thor: The Dark World, where he kind of psi blasted everything away from him. But anyway, and they could have did it in 20 minutes. They made bad Loki from Avengers 1 right after the Battle of New York into a good guy in less than 20 minutes by watching the film reel. So anyway, moving on. So episode 4, this is the Nexus event.
Couldn't they have just done that again? Hey, look at this timeline. You two got together. Oh, that should be a thing. Let's do that.
And then they gaze into each other's eyes.
So bad, man. So many stupid moves that he made in that episode. He's cunning, he's mischievous, he thinks stuff out. That's his main, that's what makes him cool.
Yeah, he's not being worried.
He's a bumbling
on it. Whoopsies.
Yeah, Robbie. So
I'd
like to go back and clean that up
for anyone. Maybe she's throwing him off because she's digging him, or he's digging her.
That's
he's
true.
Feeling himself.
I hope they clean it up, like Benny said last time I was watching you guys. I really hope they clean it up, because she fell asleep on the train. I just feel like if there's not more to that, that was just probably the sloppiest episode of Disney Plus yet. Yeah, I don't get
some
it.
bad Falcon Winter Soldier episodes.
You're there.
Mike, how do you feel about the nobody was enchanted? Because that theory went way out the window, right?
I'm wondering. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. At this point, I'm just okay. Marvel Disney Plus is a product. It's a thing. It's a product that Disney has provided that we would not have gotten otherwise. And in that light,
enjoy it.
It's great. I know, but I'm serious, because when I go and watch a new Marvel movie like Black Widow, and thinking about how much shorter amount of time that film was versus how much these shows are. Commistorian's completely right, by the way. What's up, bro? They've got the pacing so fucked up in these shows. And I gave WandaVision, we all gave WandaVision the pass, right? Because of the COVID and the post-production, they cut, great. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, okay, I was with it. And then this one, and I'm just like, the editing could have been cleaned up between episode 3 and 4 to make 2/3 of an episode. So a whole third of an episode between 3rd and 4 was fucking filler. And this is my problem with Game of Thrones was you could tell that the writing was George R. R. Martin infused for the first couple of seasons as he was helping them pace. And as soon as George R. R. Martin was like, okay, you guys are on your own, write this stuff. And I actually like Michael Waldron. I think he does a great job. I really like the writing on Rick and Morty. I actually enjoy the dialogue on Loki a lot. But the pacing, like the storyboard of the episodes on Disney Plus, guys, they have got to figure this out. Because I would actually rather 3 amazing episodes that are an hour and a half long than the crap that they're doing right now. Because we didn't need like 1/3 of the last 2 episodes.
Well, I will say it seems like they're forcing episodes.
Yeah, they're making long movies, but they're trying to make it episodic, and they fill it up because of that. I think.
I think they got 2.
Did you have something, Guy?
Me?
Yeah, or was that an old message?
No. I said I'm sitting there going, does anyone else looking while we're talking at Michael Roman just thinking that he knows more than all of us?
I don't know. He just said he's like.
I really think
I
feel like I'm like the least knowledgeable person in this entire group. Honestly,
listen,
maybe not about
I'm gonna look
with the comics for sure.
Look back, but look back, and as we're all talking, I like how you just sit there like this, going, "Yeah, I know something they don't know."
I agree. No, trust me, I feel like a lot of people feel this way. I really do. I've seen like comments just in my own stream, and a lot of people are just like, "What the hell, man." Stuff.
Yeah, Mike does the live watch parties. I caught like a second of it. I think for this one, was it Tuesday night, right? Like midnight or whatever. All right, so let's move into this. So let's start off with episode 4. We start off in Asgard. We start off in Sylvie's Asgard, and we see her as a little kid. She's playing with toys. I know there's kind of like these meanings for all these toys she's playing with. Not really that important. But the TVA shows up. Renslayer as a Minuteman, which I kind of liked. I liked how she was, because now she's Judge Renslayer. So she was A23, which we've seen how many of those on Very Gary's live auction with the Avengers 23 first appearance of Renslayer. They come in there. They basically say there's a variant. She casts a Nexus event, so they kidnap female Loki. Boom, out of there.
Great shot of Asgard too. It's nice seeing a different perspective of a place we've been to before.
It was like from behind Asgard, right? Or
you see a lot more.
Yep.
So my question before you move on, I know I'm interrupting, but sorry about that.
Please do.
What? Obviously, something happened there that they came and got her.
Well, that's right? What I was going to get into that, but I think later on we get the answer as to why. Was it necessarily something she would do, or was it her existing? And it kind of seems like the latter. And we could probably elaborate a little bit more on that later.
Yeah, then I'll wait.
She's committing crimes against the sacred timeline. So then we fast forward. We get Renslayer again, and she is meeting with the Timekeepers. I was shocked. I said in last stream, so I was kind of wrong, but I was kind of right. But we see the Timekeepers. We see their silhouettes. They have glowing red eyes. I didn't think we were going to even see that. I was kind of like, dang, this episode is going to be crazy, man. What did you guys think when you first saw the Timekeepers?
They were scary as hell, weren't they?
At first, I thought we weren't going to see them again. I thought that was it. Boom, done.
No, I knew that. Come on. But
no, I mean like later episodes. This episode, I didn't think we'd see them again.
Why did she seem nervous to you guys as well? Like,
yes.
What's going on?
She was about to get reamed out. She was about to see the big boss, and she was about to get reamed out for losing both variants.
She seemed sincere that she wanted to die. She's like, just do it.
At the very end, yeah.
Well, at the end, yeah. Well, I mean, we can get into that real quick. Shout out to Tom Keel with the $5 super chat. He says if they don't invest all this time character building, the viewers that aren't so into comics might get lost. It's good and it helps build the story. I can get with you behind that.
I can understand that too. Think about it. We've seen Loki for how many movies over how many years? We know him. We don't know
developed. Right.
I get it.
Well, I mean, I was going to say this earlier, not to divert from the episode, but I think that the Disney Plus stuff has 2 things that are going to go good for it going forward. Number one, they're going to learn a little bit from what they've done in the first few series, and the other series that we're going to get are for new characters, where these episodic things can work for them because they got to build these characters up and we got to learn their origin stories like Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, things like that. I think that'll work a lot better for new characters. So,
well, you guys were talking about Disney Plus shows as a whole. We got to remember too that everything we're watching, we mostly know all these characters, right? When we start getting those Miss Marvels and those Moon Knights and those She-Hulks and those, the shows like that we may see something a little different.
But see, here's the problem. Here's the issue I have right now with just to go with what you said, Gem, for the beginning of this, and that complaint right there about building up these characters. My problem with episode 3 is Sylvie can be interesting, but 3 did nothing. It didn't build her up. I understand we need to build up these characters, but all she did was vaguely be like, well, I had a mom. Well, something happened. Well, here's
Zero
how
agency
works. Yeah, she didn't give anything. Like if she spent the whole episode giving us her backstory, doing an origin, explaining why she doesn't like to be a Loki, like you could have spent episode 3 building up this character and then 4 have all those other reveals.
I'm with you on that.
Instead, they put everything into 4. And also, I just want to say, if her entire motivation is as a child, they showed up, and now for the last 30 years, I've been running away, and now I'm in love with the other Loki. Like that, there's like nothing to her.
And we don't see anything that she's gone through. What happened during those 30 years? How was life running and hiding? She did mention like she figured out everywhere she was going, she was causing a Nexus event until she figured out the apocalypse thing. And that's how she got past that. Now, here's another weird thing.
Episode 3 explained more Loki than Sylvie. And we do know Loki in the MCU. That's not even like, oh, you got to explain him. We have movies.
So how the hell did she believe that the temp pad was out of juice or broken? She, for 30 years, has been using a temp pad. Has she been charging it? That's kind of like a weird plot point.
She has, because she said she knows how to charge
a power source.
Yeah, she must have
something like that. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so anyway, Mobius, he's waiting outside the office for his boss is getting reamed out by her bosses, the timekeeper. She basically says, yeah, they're pissed. And Mobius starts questioning her about C-20, the soldier that Sylvie kidnapped and enchanted her. And she came back saying, it's real. And we'll talk about what was real later on. But she already is acting shady. When Mobius is questioning her about C-20, she's like, she's dead. She got worse. And he's just not buying it. So we're already starting to see cracks in the TVA and Renslayer's story with that.
I just got to say, thank God for Owen Wilson. Like, he is by far the best performer in this entire show. And every bit with him blows me away. When something that later on you'll get to happens, it just broke my heart, but hopefully...
I agree. He's incredible. They never kill him.
Yeah. He's the best character.
That's Tom's fault. I think that's all Tom's fault.
They pulled like the Luke Cage. They killed the best character like way too soon. We'll see what happens. But like,
we don't know if he's dead, right?
Yeah,
he's still around. He's
and
still
there's
around.
other ones.
It's almost guaranteed he's still around with how they ended the episode. But still, come on, really, just he's been in 2 episodes and then like a 4th of this one.
And he was sorely missed from episode 3. That's another thing where that was kind of a little off. Yeah, anytime he's on screen, it's just like you want to hear what he has to say. And there's so many great scenes in this episode.
Those moments of concern where he's like, "But what really happened? Why won't you tell me?" And he's questioning what the TVA is telling him. That to me is the most compelling part of Loki. Period so far.
And I think we called that on the episode 1 breakdown that Loki's probably going to get to Mobius and get him to start questioning the TVA, and that's really what brings the TVA down here. So anyway, we go back. Speaking of Loki and Sylvie, we go back to Lamentus 1. We see them. Death is imminent. They do a big CGI scene. It was a little cheesy, but at the same time, this is not a big budget movie. So they had the whole moon crashing into the planet thing. There's no way to get off the planet. Loki apologizes. Sylvia finally opens up a little bit, talks about being in Asgard, talking about the universe wants to break free, so it manifests chaos, which is how she, that's why she was born, the universe wanting to break free. And I think we mentioned it earlier, that in itself was what she did. She was born because the universe wants to break free. So that's kind of the explanation of why the TVA grabbed her and tried to arrest her and all of that.
But I think it's interesting because that's basically, I think, letting you know that whoever's pulling the strings here doesn't want that to happen. They have this one time stream that they want it to be for a reason. So we don't know who that is yet or why that is. So, I mean, we'll get to who we think at the end.
I also feel like they're leaving these enormous explanations unexplained. So, like, we know what a variant is veering off of the proper flow of time, but they just showed us in Asgard where there's a Sylvie. And according to the timeline in the MCU, there's no fucking Sylvie. So what is that? Is that the multiverse?
Yes.
And if it is,
right. It is.
So I said in episode 1 that even though it was woven together, it looked like the multiverse still existed. So it wasn't just one timeline now with no multiverse. There's still a multiverse. It just all has to happen as they want. So there are these alternate, but like that's a huge thing to like not even acknowledge. Like give us one of your quippy Rick and Morty explanations. Like you just acknowledged it's there, but you're like not talking about it. And I'm sorry, like the lay fan isn't going to be able to keep up. If they're just assuming that someone's going to be able to fill in the blanks here with the multiverse, they're fucking wrong.
Well, I think that's why we're going to get a big info dump in the next issue because this one ends with them saying, "Tell me
another
everything."
episode 3. Heck yeah!
The reason why I say it's a multiverse because Sylvie tells a story that they took her and they destroyed her reality when they dropped the I forgot what they called the little canvas.
I think that she meant metaphorical reality, just resetting what her toys were because that's what they showed us on screen. You might be right, not like resetting the whole reality.
Well, they're pruning everything. Yeah, whoever
she wasn't supposed to have Legos; it was Mega Blocks.
Right. Correct.
Correct timeline.
100%.
Just like I think Matt said it, but there's one timeline that somebody wants,
right?
And they're just pruning everything that veers off in any kind of way.
And now we don't know what pruning. We don't know what pruning really means anymore, right? We don't know if they're just dumping all these variants onto this one plane or this one planet, and maybe it's just a planet of all these variants, or this time slip of time stream, whatever you want to call it, but clearly something
disconnected timeline,
right?
Because you see,
that's limbo. Maybe that's limbo.
Right? Did they ever explain the red lines above and below?
That's where they say that's where it gets like to the point where
the point of not being able to reset. But it's all propaganda anyway. Remember, it's all propaganda. That line can go through there and nothing happens. It's like
nothing. It's true. Nothing. The natural state is the multiverse, I think, and the idea of the villain is trying to keep it into one because.
Right.
For some reason.
You know what I think they should do, dear Marvel? Hire the 8 of us to write a show for you.
The Illuminati.
Fuck that shit up.
Illuminati.
No, we would.
But we really would, man.
I'm bringing Batman here, baby. I want He-Man in here.
People be like, "Why is Night Thrasher in this?"
God damn it! Gary says he wants He-Man in there, the very first thing, and the whole thing gets shut down. Man,
we're done.
It's over. Right on the edge.
Get this guy out of here,
man. Jesus,
multiverse. There could be anything out there.
He said the multiverse.
Do you think it's a plot hole, or do you think they purposely did this? Like, what happened to the chaos from episode 3? Like, did they close all of those Nexus events that were happening? I mean, how did they get in front of all those? Because that was supposed to be like the big plot that just took down the TVA, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, don't worry, that's not actually happening.
I thought that's where
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
I thought that's where it was. For fans.
It's nothing that the Minutemen could have stopped. It's not like they went to fight somebody. She literally sent the charges that deleted those realities, right? So.
Well, the intention is to just send out the Minutemen. It's not. It's all a focus to get all the Minutemen out so they can get access to the TVA. They weren't trying to cause a Nexus event, not a Nexus event, but what would be leading to get everybody out. Side note, as far as acknowledging things here, is this a good? I can't remember at what point this happened in the show, but vampires were absolutely confirmed.
I got it in my notes. I got it in my notes. We'll talk about it.
Okay, it's coming.
So anyway, they're on Lamentus. At the same time, Mobius is tasked to find the variants. That's what Renslayer tells him. And it's B50, right? That's the other Minutemen's name?
15, I think.
15.
B15. She asks about is there any news on C20? So you got 2 agents of the TVA wanting to know what's up with C20. We go back, we see the moon crashing into the planet. Sylvie asks Loki if Lokis are destined to lose, and he says, nah, we're survivors. So he talks about how she nearly took down the TVA and how amazing she is, and I think that's the point where he realizes, damn, I'm kind of digging this chick, man. So that moment right there, as he's gazing into her eyes, that's what starts.
Did I miss the rom-com music? Is that what kicked off right there? You know,
right?
I think it's when she touched him.
Yeah, they started holding hands.
Yeah, did you notice how the line started rising?
Maybe
real hard.
He was like, I've never been touched by a woman.
Gary.
It caused the branch to spike straight up, which seemed excessive compared to other branches that we've seen, right? They kind of gradually go up. So this one caused a major Nexus event. TVA is able to find them, and we find out nobody was being enchanted, and they were saved how we said. We don't want them to be saved at the end of episode 3. But like Gary said, they didn't just find them and save them. They caused this Nexus event name of the episode. They said the name. What's that thing when they say the name of the movie in the movie? Anyway.
By the way, that did save the episode. I will say that was a big deal because if they did just show up, I thought that would have been cheesy.
Right. Okay. Yeah, me too. That would have been like too convenient, but they triggered something that made them find them, right? So I was with that too. And don't even think about how time works because technically they could have gone back at any point of time at Lamentis and saved them. But anyway, we don't, that's not really important.
Yeah, why did they show up at the very last possible moment?
They could have showed up at any time, but I guess that's how they figured out they were on Lamentis. Anyway, Loki and Sylvie.
Let's not lament this, okay?
They're getting brought in by the TVA. Funny enough,
I'm gonna go cry in the shower.
With the joke that bomb. No, Sylvie has more security than Loki. I thought that was funny, and then Loki even brings it up a little bit later. So I don't know. That was something I wrote down. I thought it was funny. Mobius calls him a bad friend. That seems to be the only thing that really hurt Loki in their interaction when he's kind of like, "You're not even the god of mischief. You're just an asshole. You're just a bad friend." So that's what ends up causing the whole get thrown into the time cell scenario where we meet Lady Sif. So the only thing here is that Loki just manages to blurt out, "The TVA is lying to you." I was like, tell him that he's a variant. Tell him that you're all variants. Like, tell him everything right now. But he just gets out, "The TVA is lying to you." Okay, very vague, whatever. He gets thrown into the time cell.
That's how TV shows work. You never get to the point. It'd be like, I call you today, Gem, we really need to talk. We're talking right now. I know. I'll call you back in an hour. Like,
Dave Cerrone says, with a $5 super chat, "If your Nexus event lasts more than 4 hours, call a doctor." Strange. That was a good one. Okay, better than Mike's joke.
That was good.
Poor Mike. He's lamenting over that joke. Leave him be.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I thought it was funny, but I know cheesy jokes.
I'm already past that. You guys are living too much in 1983.
Well, time passes differently. Time passes differently here, Mike. Come on,
soaking it up with my soulmate.
All right, so we get the Lady Sif scene. So it just replays this scenario where he cut her hair and she runs up to him and she knees him in the groin, punches him in the face, tells him that he deserves to be alone and he always will be. And basically, this just resets in a loop, which has got to hurt after a while. So. We're in the time loop there with Loki while Mobius talking to Renslayer again. He wants to interrogate Sylvie, but she won't let him again, acting shady. She won't let him get near him. She's kind of trying to say, she's too dangerous. Work on your Loki. Focus on interrogating your Loki. This is where Mobius tells B-15 that, hey, we've brought in Kree, we've brought in Titans, we've brought in vampires. So definitely planting the seeds for Blade, right? Maybe Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, things of that nature.
Dracula, baby.
They kind of did this with back in the day. Was it Captain America: Winter Soldier when they kind of name dropped? Yeah, we know about other enhanced people. We got Stephen Strange, and they kind of like dropped a little something, a little Easter egg there. So yeah, we're gonna get vampires. We kind of knew that. So this is the first mention of vampires in the MCU, I would think.
Does anyone think it's weird that we heard vampires before mutants?
But they're saving that one, man.
We heard vampires in Korg. We heard vampires in Thor Ragnarok.
Eternals. Come on.
Yeah, Korg asks Thor about using a and then says it would only be good. I mean, it was like a double joke too because he directed What We Do in the Shadows, so it was a 3 vampire joke. But I mean, he's acknowledging vampires in the MCU.
I told you
that's like Inception level.
Big brain on Mike.
I told you Michael Roman knows more than all of us.
No, that's why I'm saying with our powers combined, we need to write a series.
See, I would have
put
Blade and
Loki. Secret Wars, y'all know that shit would be lit as fuck. I'm just saying. Monetized. I'm sorry, man.
It's all good. So we go back to Loki. Loki admits his shortcomings to Lady Sif. She doesn't hit him this time, but she says, "You are alone. You'll always be. You always will be." And that seems to kind of stick with him a little bit, and that, I guess there's some foreshadowing for later on. And that's when Mobius takes him out, or he shows up, and then he takes him out to interrogate him. So this scene is like they're basically lying to each other. He lies to Loki and says that Sylvie has already been pruned. Loki lies to him and tries to take the blame and say, "Hey, I was the mastermind behind this whole thing." And Mobius figures out that Loki fell for himself, and that's how the Nexus event started. And it's a closed case. That's basically all that Mobius.
Can we also say there's a major plot hole here? I'd like to point it out. Major plot hole.
Please do.
Loki specifically asks Sylvie about past lovers She asks him, he admits there's a bit of both, and then says, I assume that's the same for you. So it's setting up that they have a sexual history, that they have been hooking up with people through the ages. We also know they're thousands of years old. Him falling for Sylvie only works if it's like the first time he's been exposed to love, which is almost how they're playing it and writing it in the series, because presumably he's had a ton of partners. Like, this is nothing new. He would just want to, what I'm saying is he would want to get down and have sex. It wouldn't be like the type of love that you would expect to create a Nexus event. I don't care about if they had spent a whole series building these two out. It's still hard to believe. So there's a huge plot hole created here by like, that they've had love before of all kinds, but like Sylvie's the one. He really loves her. Come on.
Yeah, but hold on. Is it like that Romeo and Juliet? Like it's not supposed to happen kind of thing?
See, what if it's like more like
he just realizes how weird this is and he's for it?
Well, no, what if he just realizes that what if it's not a sexual thing? Because if it is, I think it's dumb, right?
No, like I agree with you 100%.
What if it's like that he actually genuinely cares whether somebody lives or dies, and it's himself that he cares about that for the first time?
PC, but did they sell that in an? Do you believe he does that? That happens. Like
I think that's given the MCU too much credit. I definitely think he wants to bang her, right?
Well,
right. That's what I'm saying.
As far as relationship stuff goes with Loki, we learned something really big in this, and that he is a terrible person. He cut this person's hair, this woman's hair that he was with, and got put into this like prison because to relive that experience because it was a terrible one. If he's willing to do something like that, it puts some perspective on the situation that he's just a terrible person in a relationship.
Was that terrible though?
It could have been worse. He could have.
It was a joke.
It was a joke, right?
He could have.
I mean, you can go on YouTube.
Can't imagine.
There's
It's a crime.
Hair. Come on.
Yeah, you can't cut someone's hair though. That's kind of messed up though.
He's willing to assault somebody he's with, maybe this one is someone he doesn't feel like he wants to assault.
It is nice to see Sif back, but it sucks that like they bring her back for like this little tiny bit. It's like, bro, really? Like this is it? Like, come on. Like
she literally said the same line for like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Can you come back? Just say one line a whole bunch of times.
You get to punch Tom Hiddleston.
It does make sense because Loki is self-centered. Of course, he would be in love with himself. Like that makes sense to me. That more so than if it was just just some other person that he met. But it's
got to be true love, Jim. It's got to be like genuine care, not just like banging, right? It's got to be.
Shit, Nick, what's up, bro?
Big shout out to Nick Barucci over at Dynamite Entertainment, sending a little love to Gem and the team from your friends at Dynamite. Love these recap shows. Love the passion and back and forth. Everyone hit that like button. Happy 4th for sure, man. Nick, we appreciate you as always, sir.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
So during this interrogation, Loki finally comes out and tells him that they're all variants. They're not created by the timekeepers. Sylvie can access suppressed memories when she enchants people, and he believes her. Now, you can tell Mobius kind of, it sits with him for a little bit, and then he tries to brush it off because it's Loki. You can't just take everything at face value, especially or even when you think it's going to be misdirection like episode 3, and you could have took it at face value. That's the genius of Loki. So anyway, Loki leaves off by saying, "Listen,
the genius of 3." Yeah, I got you.
Loki leaves off saying,
3 was secretly a genius. Gem said it today.
No, what I'm saying is though, it makes you question yourself. Is this misdirection or is this just face value? You don't know until you get the answer in the next episode. So there's a level of Loki-ness to that.
Do you think they're aiming the Disney Plus shows to like not the hardcore MCU fans, but more or less trying to bring in a new fan base that are just like,
bro, you gotta make it universal no matter what you do. They have to have a balance of maybe somebody didn't see all 23 or 24 movies, and you gotta walk that line.
That's why I feel like that's why they're trying to wrap these shows up, because they're cognizant that some of the people who are sitting on their couch watching this won't make their way to the movies, which is crazy. It's crazy because now it's on Disney Plus too, but yeah.
I mean, if you look at the entire MCU since the beginning, like, because I've had this argument a ton of times, they've never cared about the comic reader. They nod to us that we exist, but they've never cared all the way back to the Iron Man Mandarin reveal.
So true.
It's whatever makes a good and fun movie to them. And if that happens to line up with your comic book portrayal, cool. If it happens to line up with an Easter egg, even better because you guys are all going to freak out and make a video with 8 people talking about it.
Yeah, but I mean, so the MCU's
parameters around it too. Like you can't do too much in these shows. So some of these big reveals that I think we're all hoping for, it feels like, well, they can't show too much because they got to save it for the movie. So now it's like a WWE type of thing. You got to wait for the pay-per-view event to actually see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're not going to pay Jonathan Majors to be on the show, right? So
yeah. Even the movie also
can I just interrupt everyone to say that y'all got some really cool stuff behind you? I finally made this big screen. I'm seeing Fantastic Four #1 up here in the right corner. We got Journey into Mystery. Y'all got some dope stuff, man. Holy hell.
I have an old chair.
Do you like my doors?
Yep, I really like your doors. That's a really cool door that you have there.
Benny, Tom Keo for $5 wants to know who hurt you. Why are you so angry?
Loki episode 3. That's what hurt me.
We're all gonna leave 2 hours from now. Commisstorian's just going to be here by himself, screaming at the screen. There's no one watching.
Old man yells at Cloud.
But I mean, just an example.
You guys don't think we're going to start getting some big reveals in this Disney Plus series? Like, where are they going to bring in all these characters?
Well, Feige said that
you have to bring them in somewhere.
Feige said that you don't have to watch these shows to understand it. And if you get it, like the last time we saw Wanda, she was sad that Vision was dead and she was losing it. That's where she ended up. Right?
There we go.
We knew that Sam was going to be Captain America. That's where it ended up. You don't need to watch these to get. That's the idea. There are 2 different audiences. They're trying to pull this Netflix couch surfing kind of crowd, and maybe it's not the movie crowd anymore. I don't know. It's all different now.
But let's they got to come together at some point. We got new characters coming.
We thought that about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's what I was just going to say. We're getting way more connection than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had, even though I know that got better or whatever, but this feels way more
Wait, hold on. Even though I know that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had some good seasons, even though I didn't see it, a lot of the fan base says that's where we're setting the bar.
You know what? You're right. We're not going to set the bar there. The bar is set at Inhumans. Inhumans is the best show.
So Nolan Nerf for $2 has the 12-year-old joke. The line roast fat. Yeah, we got it.
It's Inhumans.
I'll tell you this much. We spoke to so much about episode 4. I really want to know what Benny's theory on episode 3. Did you enjoy episode 3?
Don't wind them up again.
Speaking of episode 3, my main man Hino with the $5 says he wants your better rate bill, Mike, and he also says Owen Wilson has he has these last 2 episodes. He'll be in them according to IMDb. So good stuff.
IMDb is infallible. They are never wrong.
Gem reviewed this exact statue. So if you somehow haven't seen that on his channel and you like this, Gem did a full review on this one.
I'll tell you, Mike bought the statue, had it shipped to me so I could review it, and then I shipped to him. So appreciate that again, man. That was good looking out. All right. So anyway, we're being interrogated. At the end of the interrogation, Loki says, the TVA is full of liars, and you're the biggest liar. Mobius wants to know why. He says, it's the lies that you tell yourself. That was pretty interesting. Outside, B-15 seems conflicted outside of Sylvie's cell. She goes in there. She opens a time door and says, come with me. They're off. At this point, we don't know where the hell they're going. Then we're back with Renslayer. Mobius and her are celebrating, closing the case. Although Mobius doesn't really seem too thrilled about it. He asks her why he couldn't interrogate Sylvie. She basically says, hey, she would have escaped. He says, why do you say that? Well, the fact that she's escaped so many times before. And I guess we didn't really mention earlier, but how easy did Sylvie escape as kid from Renslayer? That had to be embarrassing as hell.
I was going to say, did she let her go?
I mean, I'm just gonna say, kids get away super easy. They're kind of slippery. They get into things. I actually have like 7 kids, and I don't know where they are. They just all walked out the door. They're just gone. So dude, I get it. I get Renslayer.
Big Will Comics for $5. I'm kind of with you there. I think I mentioned this on Gary's channel when we were doing WandaVision. I don't think anything life-shattering is going to happen on Disney Plus.
Well, I wholeheartedly disagree.
Mobius. We'll see.
I agree with Gary.
Boys, I got to go pick my brother up from the airport. Jen, thank you for having me.
You for coming on,
guys, you guys are awesome. I look forward to this next week. I have high hopes for episode 5.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Much love to the family and everybody. I love you guys.
Michael, quick rating. What's the rating with the episode, real quick?
Oh, yeah, right.
Nice, Tom. Thank you. Being on point.
Someone's running the show.
We didn't get Mike's rating from last episode either. Episode 3.
Episode 3 is a 6. Episode 4 is a 6.5.
Wow, not that much better. Wow.
Ooh.
I gotta say, I disagree.
Guys, I'm a hard grader. It's got to be great to go over like 8 or 9. Like it's got to be great. And 10 is like the highest. Oh, you are? Gem's like everything at 10. 9.5.
I love everything.
I love it.
It's hard for me not to give everything a 10. Episode 3, I was like, yeah, this is maybe an 8. Like I don't remember what I did.
It's just different scales. All right, I love you guys.
I get your brother. Thanks.
We want to talk about
comment just for 1 second.
Let's real quick to Twitch for $5. What do you say? Wasn't there a line in episode 1 about not being able to come in contact with yourself without causing something to happen?
Love is what happens.
It'll cause a Nexus event.
She touched him in the last episode. There was no Nexus event.
That's
Every time a woman touches me, there's a Nexus event for me. So I don't know about you.
Hey, you know what's funny?
Somebody had to go there, Benny. I appreciate it.
Fallen Hero for $5.
I got a 16-year-old.
God, it is.
Fallen Hero
for $5.
The problem is
it always gets pruned.
And Fee texted me the same thing. She'll probably tell you in the chat. He texted me the same thing. My son just pointed out that your outfit finally matches your logo. He always asks why you're wearing different shirts and bandanas in every video.
Finally, huh? Can we? I got to get on this Disney Plus thing.
All right, go ahead,
think
please.
Disney Plus is going to have major events and already has, and I'm going to go all the way back to WandaVision. Matt, you know what I'm going to say? The Darkhold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the multiverse. Thing. And the multiverse we know is going to be in Doctor Strange. They're setting that up in Loki, right?
Absolutely.
Counterpoint, Gary.
These are major characters.
Benny's got some for you.
Counterpoint. The Darkhold is so insignificant, it's been reinvented from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. over to WandaVision.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's right.
You know what that means? All that means is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. meant nothing. That's what it means.
No, it was Ghost Rider, and I'll take it to my grave.
That wasn't the Ghost Rider. I'm sorry.
They just need a magic book. What's the Marvel magic book? The Darkhold? Write that in. That's all they did there.
Yeah, I remember Principal Defects and Gary. You guys were getting some slack for the Darkhold because it already did show up. I saw people saying that.
But we were right. But we were right.
But it ain't the first appearance in MCU, right?
Well, it's her first appearance in the MCU because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ain't MCU. So.
Is it though? It has Phil Coulson. It's a Wonderful Place.
They said it ain't canon.
It's not canon, right?
Not canon.
It's not canon only because they removed it from the timeline after 7 seasons. Come on,
dude, the TVA did that. That's what happened. That's what this whole thing
reset the timeline.
Oh, they just booped it with that grenade thing. Like, boop. All right, Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. Let's go to the next one.
Don't sleep on the Darkhold. Don't sleep on the Darkhold.
Michael, the Beast, Benston Comics for $5 says he agrees with Gary, Gem, and Matt. Darkhold, same as Cat. Multiverse, pretty big to me. Yeah,
Officially have a Scarlet Witch. Yes, you have a White Vision, but we don't know how significant or insignificant that is. We still have Agatha, who is still around. I think the Disney Plus shows have made a big impact. We just don't know how big yet because we're still waiting on the movies.
And it was Agatha all along.
And don't forget, we don't know how this is going to end.
True.
What if Agatha's the next Thanos? I'm
That's
down.
Whack. Hino for $5 says, speaking of WandaVision, have you seen that since Loki released, there's been an invisible cloaked figure in the Wanda end credit scene?
They redid that whole scene. They
redid the whole thing.
I've already done all the research on this and did an entire clickbait episode myself. It is, in fact, a digital mistake made by adding in trees. We don't know why they did it.
So funny.
It's all it is.
Digital. You ruined it for me. God damn it, Benny.
I'm sorry. It's Doctor Strange. It's Doctor Strange.
Does anyone else think Benny's just a dream squasher over here? I mean,
I think Benny's a realist. He's been in this game too long to be fooled by these simple tactics. Back at Renslayer's office, basically, this is where we get the first time. What am I saying? Anyway, Renslayer asked Mobius where he would like to go if he could go anywhere in time. He says, I mean, we can go anywhere in time. And she's like, no, really, man. He says something pretty sappy, like right here with you, which made me think, like, did they have a bigger relationship until the end of this conversation? And I'm like, oh, Renslayer just friend zoned him like really, really hard. She just wants to make sure nothing happens to her best friend. So that was kind of the end of that conversation. Now they do talk about C20 again, and she basically just tries to brush it off. You can tell she's acting shady about what happened to her. And when she puts up, go ahead, Robbie.
Well, I was going to say, I think he friend zoned her because she was all like, you mean just one drink? She was trying to lube him up, man. You know,
because usually he's trying to hang around, man. He's trying to knock down multiple drinks. But then when she puts up the blade on her trophy stand, he swaps the temp pads and then he hits her with the I got to work early in the morning.
Yeah, line, right? I know. But she was hurt by that. Let me just say, we've all had go there.
I know
sometime.
she was unbuttoned and shit. Come on.
I felt like it was more. He was acting out of
work
character.
in the morning. I really
I gotta wash my hair. My hair's a mess.
Gotta go.
So they were back to B15. B15 took Sylvie to Rock's cart, which Rock's Mart would have been so much better, but it definitely says Rock's cart. She takes her to that apocalyptic event where Sylvie enchanted her and shown her what we can now assume is a glimpse of her previous life before the TVA, like she did to C20. So a very touching scene in the rain. She's crying in the rain, which I kind of thought was a good scene because B15 has been such a hard ass this entire series. So to finally see some humility from her and basically says, oh, I looked happy. What now? So that's going to foreshadow her role later on in the episode.
It's a really cool scene too. I mean, it's like I got some V for Vendetta vibes with the with like the flames, you know, like the rebirth, the rain. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
a
like
nice
that
scene, man.
though too. I thought that was good.
And,
you know, it's funny. I do hope Owen Wilson isn't gone. Mobius isn't gone. Mobius.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see if he's enchanted, and we get to see some of his memories, or he kind of.
First of all, Gary, there's no way this doesn't end with him on a jet ski somewhere. There's no way.
He even said that as he was vanishing.
If it does, I'm canceling Disney Plus.
If he
I'm
doesn't
going
get
to
a jet
hold you
ski-
to that, Matt. I want to see. I want to talk to you on a follow-up episode.
Benny,
and you're like,
I will.
I didn't watch it. I don't have Disney Plus.
I will cancel it. I will cancel it and then open it back up under another email. It's okay.
Maddie, we need you to find out the first appearance of a jet ski in Marvel Comics too.
I mean,
that's
I will
the
do
next
that.
hot book, right? You know,
That's
it's
the
got to
spec
end
book.
with Mobius on a jet ski with Gator Loki, in my opinion.
I
If
will
Gator
find
Loki
that
is not
book.
the ultimate villain, I don't care. Like, there we go.
He's the
All right, I gotta ask you
mastermind.
guys too. A couple things if you notice. So in the office. So wait, I'll do this one first because it's just
In
funny,
every
right?
episode, I love it. Let's go.
So on the screen there was a Wolverine Easter egg. I don't want to do this, but I have to. It said Alberta, Canada. It said Alberta, Canada.
Is that where Wolverine's from?
I'm listening.
I know it's Canadian.
Ah.
Okay, so a little
So
something.
wait,
You know, I
hold
think
on.
it's just a little nod.
everybody
I'm
needs
going to
to
be the
nod.
realist here and ruin another dream for you. Are we just
Here
taking
it comes.
any location ever named as an Easter egg now?
Absolutely.
That's actually.
Are we
It's
getting
actually
a flight? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that's an
Matt,
alpha flight.
See how quick we
Wolverine
got there?
confirmed.
See how quick we got there? Mephisto. Okay, guys. All right. So wait,
I'm just saying, if they go like, it's New York. This happened in New York. Are you going to be like, it's an Avengers Easter egg and Spider-Man?
Daredevil.
Absolutely.
Hell's Kitchen.
I just thought that was funny. I saw it.
Okay, well, hold
and that
on.
was-
But you're
Yeah,
telling me if they say Hell's Kitchen somewhere that you're not automatically going to think that's a Daredevil Easter egg?
That's all I'm saying. When I saw Alberta, Canada,
that's a very
That's
specific thing. Yeah, it's a very specific
All right.
thing.
I'm just
I mean,
Alberta,
what comes out of
Canada
Alberta,
is-
Canada?
Besides,
Besides Wolverine.
Bagged milk. I mean,
I think that's a vampire reference.
So-
Blade, right?
Yeah,
That's what
it
I
could
think.
be.
So
I'll give it to him.
So serious reference. So in the scene in the office, did you see how Mobius looked at the pen again?
Yes, he did.
Why did he look at the pen again? Like there's
Was that his
something going
pen,
on
maybe?
there.
the
So
pen
Gary,
Something
did-
going on.
Did you find
He
out
did
Gary
that twice now.
when he wrote with his left hand? Did he also write with his left hand in
No,
episode?
he was lefty all the way.
He was lefty
I
all the
did check.
Tom Keogh says for $5, this is the first appearance of Mr. Negative, aka Comic Historian,
Oh, shit.
right here on Gem's channel.
It is the fourth appearance, and I was very positive at episode 1 and 2.
Actually, and you had the other. We did an interview. This is the 5th appearance, so this is
All right,
technically
Oh,
not a
there
gate.
you go.
All right, so
and then one
Go ahead, Mike.
other
My
quick
bad.
one. So did you? This confused me, and this may have just been nothing, right? So on the paper that she makes Mobius sign, it says this is an ex parte motion to stay execution. So usually that has to do with like evicting someone from where they live. But what the hell why did she have him sign something that says that? It doesn't make any sense.
A lot of
Like,
X's,
at first I saw
X-Men.
execution. Right. At first I saw X-Men.
The execution
At first I saw
is talking about-
execution. And I was like,
Apocalypse
okay,
confirmed.
this is Apocalypse.
Executioner
This is to
song
kill-
confirmed.
Yeah, this is to kill Loki. But then I saw it stay of motion to stay execution. I'm like, why is he signing? Like, what does this mean, and why is he signing it? Again,
some production assistant just grabbed some papers out of his desk.
Right.
It was actually something involving his court case, and he just threw it over.
That may be, and I was just very confused by that. I'm like, this is very strange. So I don't know if that's going to come back into play, but just thought I pointed out. I have no idea what it means. So
anyway, Wolverine confirmed by Matt.
Bottom line is confirmed.
Write it down and quote this.
Mobius, he takes Renslayer's temp pad. He kind of ducks off to the library. He looks up C20. He sees like her debriefing where she's basically saying, listen, this enchantment was real. These were real memories. I've been to that place, this and that. And then Renslayer pops her face in there looking suspicious as hell, confirming that Renslayer was lying about what happened to C20 as far as her losing her mind. And also the it was real line that C20 kept on saying when she came back from the enchantment. She saw a glimpse of her life before the TVA and it blew her mind. Mobius comes back to Loki's time cell where he is still getting his ass whooped by Lady Sif. And then he gives him a nice little heartfelt speech. They kind of become friends again. He tells him, hey, you could be anything, man. You could even be good, which, he is good a lot of times in these movies and in the TV show. He even goes out of his way to say that their Nexus event could bring down the whole TVA. So he went from 0 to 60 pretty fast. Now he's down with just bringing down the entire TVA. I thought that was kind of significant, but
I feel like he's had mixed feelings for a few episodes.
Yeah, he's conflicted. A little conflicted.
Little things that have happened over the course of these episodes
Stuff's
that
not adding up.
Made him question things. Yeah.
Right. Loki reassures him that the visions were real. He believes Sylvie and that he refers to him as a friend. So that kind of makes up for their little squabble they had outside. So when they come back out of the time cell, Renslayer with some Minutemen are waiting for them. She asks for her temp pad back. Mobius tries to play dumb. It doesn't work. Then he blurts out, the answer to the question she asked him earlier, as far as where would he go anywhere in time. He says, hey, I would go back to the life that I had before, the life that the TVA took from me, the life where I may have even had a jet ski. Boom, tears, everybody watching. Everybody felt him. And then Renslayer cold-heartedly gives the order to have him pruned, and they kill. Well, we don't know if that kills him. It doesn't kill him. We do know that. They prune Mobius. He gets
I got a question for everyone.
Does it kill them and they somehow saved Loki? We don't know for certain what.
We don't really know. As far as what we know, they're deleted. That version of them. So, and especially now knowing that all TVA agents are variants of people that once lived on Earth or wherever, that version of him is gone.
Yeah. Does anyone else wonder why the temp pads don't have a lock? I mean, our cell phones have a code pad. Like, why can't they have a lock? How many? The little girl steals it.
That's a good point, Gary.
Good question for Kang. I wonder when he made these things and set this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Because
it's Kang.
He set it up with Wolverine, and Wolverine just uses his claws. So
Alberta. I have a question. I mean, just to back up like 2 feet. Did we ever see them? Yeah, back up 2 feet. Did we ever see them actually go back into that little room? Like when Mobius went to grab Loki, right? He went into that little repeated thing that he's getting his nuts kicked, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
He goes in there. He says all this stuff to Loki. All we see is them come out of the room.
You think they're variants?
I mean,
little magic.
Listen, Loki can do a little magic. Maybe look, this guy loves magic down here. This guy over here. Yeah, him.
Then what about the mid-credits scene?
All right.
I don't know.
Real quick,
Jem hasn't gotten to that yet, so we're not acknowledging it yet.
Yes,
shout out to
acknowledge that.
Shout out to Nolan Nerd for the $2 super chat and for the $20 super chat. I saw it. I respect your opinion. It's just not something I wanted to share on my channel, and we're live streaming on Comic Historian's channel. But I do appreciate you. And we do have Ryan Radford for $5. The amount of times I've seen people not use a passcode, you'd be surprised. I can't do that. That's like an OCD thing of mine. Like, how could you have a phone without a passcode? That's if you're that free.
If you just swipe on mine and you'll unlock everything.
You're saying that now.
I'm changing that right now.
I'll get 2 seconds little side story. So my phone up until recently had no passcode. And also has access to all of my business stuff from YouTube to Twitch to Twitter. and I dropped it down an elevator shaft, and I had to go deactivate everything.
Dang, put a passcode on you guys. Don't be a temp pad.
I'm putting it on right now, y'all.
It's a much longer story, Matt. We don't have time for that right now.
I guess it's called a time pad.
What were you doing in an elevator shaft?
Temp pad.
Okay,
right?
so
temp
fun
pad,
fact. If just when you get on an elevator, you know that gap between the elevator and the wall? That actually is the shaft all the way to the bottom. And if you drop your phone at this angle, it will fit.
Getting a little X-rated here.
My buddy letting us know.
My buddy over, my buddy came over last weekend. We were, chilling out, and he goes home. He's like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta study for the bar exam. He's like, gonna be a lawyer. It's like 1:00 in the morning. I get a call 5 minutes later, and he's like, yo, Tom, I'm stuck on your elevator.
Oh man, that's one of my biggest fears, man.
For an hour and a half, I'm on the second floor, just going like, dude, I'm just gonna stand around and wait for the guy. It's okay.
Dang.
Yeah,
I just want to know: was there a pregnant woman about to deliver a baby on that elevator as well?
There was not. No.
Good point.
All right. So anyway, Mobius gets pruned. Owen Wilson is gone, or so it seems so far. Renslayer then finds out B-15 has been compromised, so that's kind of setting up a little something as well. They take Loki and Sylvie to see the Timekeepers. So this is, again, I was waiting for the episode to end, and as it kept going, I was like, are we going to see the Timekeepers? There's more left.
It's funny. I thought it was going to end when they walked in there.
Me too, man.
Yeah, I did.
Now, in the elevator, speaking of elevators, so Sylvie asks Renslayer if she remembers her as a kid and what her Nexus event was. Renslayer kind of smirks and says she doesn't remember, like she knows and doesn't want to tell her, or really does she not remember? Like to me, it was Tuesday, M. Bison from Street Fighter kind of thing. I don't know, but
I think that was a stab at her. I honestly think that was a stab at her. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, like if I were to go to one of you guys and be like, I don't remember who the hell you are. How would that make you feel? I think that's the point of that.
And if I see you at Comic-Con, don't hit me with that. Don't hit me with the who?
She was like, new phone, who this?
Yeah.
Right?
Mint Gem? I don't know, man. I don't know who you are, man.
Gem Mint, what? So we see the Timekeepers. I was wrong. We see the Timekeepers. I thought they were never going to be real. So I was kind of right in that sense because we see these big lizard deities. They look like the comic book versions. So we'll get to that. I was wrong, but I wasn't all the way wrong. We see them, and all they basically say is like, "What do you have to say for yourself?" Like, dude, I didn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway, B-15 comes in, frees Sylvie, and a big fight ensues. Sylvie fights Renslayer. That was a dope one-on-one. Loki fighting the Minutemen. Sylvie, they take down their adversaries, and Sylvie throws the blade at the middle Timekeeper. The main Timekeeper cuts his head clean off, and right away you see something is not right. It kind of looks like machinery where his head used to be. His head falls down. The other two Timekeepers are laughing eerily, and they shut down like Chuck E. Cheese robots or whatever.
Why do they laugh, by the way? Like, why do they laugh?
So let me give you my theory on that. Whoever is in charge of this whole TVA put these puppets in their place, is watching, and he laughs. He just thinks
it was Wizard of Oz. It is
the Wizard of Oz.
So you think there's somebody back there with a microphone, right?
Whoever did the reverb voices for the Timekeepers, what were they thinking? I had to subtitle that whole.
I couldn't hear the guy on the right.
Any of it.
Yeah,
it was easier to understand Bane from Dark Knight than it was to
I was just going to say that.
It's easier to understand the adults.
Understand the Timekeepers.
I can understand the adults and Peanuts and Charlie Brown better than.
So they pick up the head. They see it's a robot. They see it's a mindless android. Loki says it never stops. And then they're asking each other, who created the TVA? So what do you guys think about that? So obviously we have no clue at this point. Who the hell created the TVA? Who is in charge of the Timekeepers? Or is it Miss Minutes? Remember the weird thing about her not being... her kind of being alive and kind of being a thing. And then what about the robot connection where they're checking to see if you're a robot when you come into the TVA? Yep. Meanwhile, it's ran by robots.
What do they say?
Okay. I said this to you on Twitter, Jim. I have a new crazy theory. Okay,
here we go.
I know only half of you saw the trailer because apparently you guys didn't watch the trailer.
I don't watch the trailer,
but I think that President Loki scene is him behind the curtain.
I like that.
Where he's literally like, "What did you expect?" Someone told me, "Oh, it's probably on the other universe." I think that's going to be the reveal. If that President Loki scene does not show up in 5 as like, if we don't time jump because of the post-credit scene, 6 months, and this is what has happened, If it doesn't open like that, my expectation is President Loki is the one behind the whole thing.
That makes sense,
What
though.
if
I did see that.
Never makes it into the show. We've seen stuff like that too.
I think you got to see.
No,
I think
be there.
It would be easy, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty convenient to have that be the way to wrap all this up. Don't have to introduce another actor like they did with Vision, like they did in Captain America Winter
They're
Soldier.
not going to, it's not going to be, but Tom, to your point, this is what I was saying about Mephisto during our WandaVision discussions. We're not going to get a brand new person that they're really in charge the whole time. It's going to be a Scooby-Doo. It's going to be the guy that was there since episode 1, which was Loki. I totally buy that.
It's minutes. That's why
Loki, President Loki will remove the Scooby-Doo mask, and it'll be the what's a fish guy.
Well, I don't know who what's a fish guy is.
I think the
very first
villain,
episode, the random guy
dude behind the desk.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate villain is Loki because it's like we're 4 episodes in. There's only 2 left.
I mean, it's in the name.
They've
Loki
introduced
the show.
The villain is Loki in some form or fashion. Is it President Loki? If it really is, and they put that in the fucking trailer, like I would be way disappointed. In the show, right?
I don't know if I'd be disappointed though.
I would be disappointed. We didn't know. We didn't know the whole time. How could you be disappointed by that?
I still think it's a Loki though, and I still think it's Old Man Loki. Last week I said Richard E. Grant's going to be in the show. He's going to play an Old Man Loki, and that actually happened. But I don't think that it's him necessarily. But it's a Loki. I don't know.
Here's the question. It was Agatha all along. So what if it was Loki all along?
No, I think it is.
What if they do the song again? What if they do the song? It was Loki.
If they do the Loki all along song, I'll be like, this is the best MCU show yet.
Yep.
You don't think that's just too like? I mean, now they're just recycling what they did.
But it's the MCU. That's all they've done.
Yeah,
like it's basically recycling.
They better raise the bar then.
They did that for like 8 years before changing the movie formula, and it's not that much different right now.
Right.
What if it's President Loki, but there's still someone in charge, like an Immortus, giving Loki
not
all
the power?
They're not going to do that.
I personally don't see them this late in any of the shows introducing any obscure characters. No Immortuses, no living tribunals. I don't even see Kang being a possibility at this point.
I don't think so.
Other than maybe an Easter egg mention, like he's on a notepad or Renslayer reports to him afterwards, like we did with the end of Carter, where she went
or he's in Alberta, Canada.
He's hanging out Wolverine.
Clearly, he's hanging out with James Howlett.
He's sharpening
Wolverine in Loki.
All right, so now that Loki and Sylvie are holding this head, Loki realizes, oh, it's just me and her. Time to profess my love. He's gonna come clean. He's gonna tell her. He goes to kiss her, and then his heart starts glowing. Loki pruned from the back by Renslayer. I almost lost my mind. I was like, no. Part of me was thinking, okay, so you don't really, right away I'm thinking you don't really die when you get pruned. But I was like, I guess, what I was really thinking is, okay, Mobius really ain't dead then, because there's no way they kill Loki. We know we get more Loki. So right away I'm thinking, okay, cool, Mobius ain't dead.
I also had a brief moment where I thought Loki was going to show the power of love. I'm not even a joke. When he first started glowing, I was like, is he going to go oh, I have new powers?
And then Hair Baron.
Was the song going to start playing too?
Yeah, Huey Lewis shows up and starts jamming out, man.
Yeah,
he knows.
He's not the fucking Grinch, okay?
We should make
my heart grew 3 sizes too big.
That's what you're doing,
I mean, he is green, but I mean,
for $5. This ties into the recent Heroes Reborn. President Coulson with his Pandemonium cube with Mephisto also. How come I said I wanted Mike's better rate built? Yeah, you scared him off with that one, brother.
Scared him.
And then Tom Keogh back with 5. Real quick, who's behind the TVA? Maybe they traveled to the future and found Loki is their demise every time, and now he's after every Loki variant. Interesting.
I think that's what it is.
Theory. Were you going to say something, Gary?
What if Renslayer is the main antagonist?
No.
I mean, she's the highest in charge that we know of.
She's filled with too much doubt right now, though.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So now, basically, once he gets pruned by Renslayer, Sylvie gets the upper hand, and then when she basically has the upper hand on Renslayer's like, just kill me. So yeah, she's not really the one in charge. She's already like, I've been doing this too long. It's too much. I'm ready to go. But Sylvie says, no, you're going to tell me everything. And then Benny thought the episode was over, and he was about to punch a hole through the TV.
I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, oh my god! But I definitely was like, that's it. And then, but here's what irritated me about that post-credit scene. I left it running for like 4 or 5 minutes while me, my wife, and my buddy talked about the episode. Like we were discussing points. I let it run. Like maybe the post-credit scene will arrive again. My problem is the credits on Disney Plus are like 10 minutes long.
So long.
And it might be this episode. It might be next episode. Is it the last 2? Is it the last 3? Is it the halfway marker? There's no indicator when this happens.
I know it's disappointed. There's info. I would be disappointed if President Loki is the villain because we already seen him.
President Loki may not be the villain, but Loki is the villain. Loki is the villain. Like 100%, I think. It's so obvious to me.
It's a Loki. Let's specify here. We already have like 3 in existence. Yeah, what if when Thanos killed the original didn't die, he got pruned and went back, and he's been trying to correct the sacred timeline this whole time.
No, that Loki's dead.
We get the whole idea. One of the whole impressions that they keep pushing in this is that Loki always loses. Loki always just is a cause. He's a cause for other people's greatness, right? Like he forms the Avengers. He's like Loki's like they keep beating us over the head with this. So this is like there's somebody pruning the timeline so that one specific timeline, one specific outcome. This outcome is King Loki. Right.
So, see, thank you,
Ryan Radford,
President Loki.
Was annoyed that why are you turning your back on people who you're not sure they're dead, they're not tied up, they're not secure. That's like a movie trope that's going to go back to the dark ages on that.
All right, I got to straighten this whole thing out then. The theory here now, before we go into episode 5 and 6, is that there's a Loki running the show trying to eliminate the other Loki variants because they want to take his spot.
Man, that sounds like somebody else, doesn't that? Like we're like describing Kang, are we not?
It's not.
But they haven't even mentioned Kang. I would give this to you, Tom, if they if within the first 2 episodes Kang got a mention or there was something like there's a god who controls time or anything.
Okay, well, wait a minute. What about the other not Mobius? What do they call it? The other agent that sits at Renslayer's desk and makes the circles.
Yeah. What about the pen? And we also, I don't know if we're talking about the next week's or not, but we're seeing a Sphinx, you know?
Yeah.
That's a mislead, yo. Like remember in WandaVision
is that what we're going at here?
Well, in WandaVision, they kept saying like the devil's in the details. You know, it's a mislead for us, right? Like
what was that all about?
It's a mislead for people that read the comics.
Well, I think Scarlet Witch was the devil in that one because
I think it had something to do with like Mephisto or something.
No, I mean, they didn't know Mephisto was going to be a funny thing in the community back when they made that.
Right, exactly. That's true. They're probably watching it weekly, like they think it's Mephisto. Anyway,
I don't believe that. I believe they knew what they were doing the whole time.
They knew what they did.
One of us works for them. One of us works for them. They're like, tease.
It's Michael because he's not here. It's Michael because he's not here.
You know what Michael does? He comes here, gets everyone's theories, and then goes back and like feed into this, feed into that one.
He's recording it right now. His next video.
He's like, we'll get him. Don't worry, we'll get him. And their little dog too.
I feel like Kang is going to get a brief mention or an Easter egg, like straight up thing to lead into Ant-Man. But since he's in Ant-Man and we haven't gotten any direct name drops, references, like I would even give it if like, oh, there's these 3 guys controlling it all. But we deal with variants, like this one guy who goes by the name of the Conqueror who goes through time. Like any kind of reference at all that this guy even exists. Even the Renslayer, she never even mentioned like, well, I have a dad who's kind of an evil, warlord. Nothing has been brought up. So if we get to episode 6 and they're just like, and it was Kang, the general viewing audience is going to go, who?
Yeah.
If it is Kang, it has to be mentioned next episode. It should have been mentioned at the end of this episode. And the whole episode 5 would be explaining that. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think that just the fact that we know Kang is in an Ant-Man film, Kang is not going to be a significant villain overall. I think.
I agree. I'm totally with you.
Hey guys, we can wrap this whole narrative up without giving us the reveal of Kang, but they could still allude to it and have that be the biggest thing we find out.
It could be a not big, Mortis. And we got to remember too, Renslayer has other agents, man. It's not just Mobius. So
they're all Mobiuses though.
We've already referenced.
That Mobius is, I think, maybe gone, and maybe we'll see a different Mobius or something. But I would, as long as Owen Wilson's there, I don't care what Mobius it is. But I just don't think we're getting Kang. I don't.
Why the Sphinx though? Why the Sphinx? of all the idols we can show on screen.
I think they're going to allude to him, but we're not going to even get a straight name drop.
Maybe
because they're setting him up for Ant-Man. I think he's going to be like, hey, there's somebody controlling the time streams, and you know what? He's using the quantum verse, and then they'll be like, Ant-Man name drop. You know,
or maybe like if the TVA exists in the quantum reality, like something like that. That would be cool, and it would be cool even if they just saw the names.
Is that where the thing is? Is it? What do y'all think that is at this point? Are we in the quantum verse when we're?
Maybe I don't. I just don't think that they're going to spend all this money to lead into the next Ant-Man film. Like that's
Ant-Man's I mean, how big of a deal is Ant-Man? And Kang's not a big deal because we already know he's coming. It's only a big deal if it's like we never saw it coming, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're having this guy in there or whatever. So yeah, that's why I don't think we're going to even get.
What if it is a nod? What if it is a tease? And what if Kang is bigger than Ant-Man? What if he is not? Okay.
I hope he's bigger than Ant-Man.
Right? But like,
no pun
he
intended.
may not be a one and done villain.
I want a Ramatut mention. They get to the Sphinx, they see Ramatut.
Here you go, your boy Robbie, Emerald Knight's right there with you with Ramatut.
Yeah,
so let's talk about the post-credit scene, right? So first of all, it's not over until the Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier ad pops up. So we get the post-credit scene. Loki immediately wakes up. He asks if he's in hell. And he sits up. We hear a voice in the background. You're not dead, but you will be unless you come with us. And we see he's in like a destroyed New York. And we have 3 new Loki variants, 4 Loki variants. Kid Loki. We have classic Loki. We have what they're calling boastful Loki, which looks like he has a version of Mjolnir. And we have Florida Loki, or the little alligator Loki.
Is it a gator or crocodile? I don't know.
One of the, I don't know. I didn't look at the snout that long.
I like gator Loki. I like Gator Loki.
Gator
Loki's the villain. What if he's responsible for everything? Wouldn't that
be I'm canceling my Disney Plus.
Well, somebody was saying that was it the gator talking? Because you don't really see who was talking.
Yeah, we don't know.
Impossible.
Anyway, I loved old man
Are you
Loki.
Cancel Disney Plus?
I love seeing that cheesy costume. We got it in WandaVision. Now we're getting it here as well, where we see comic book Loki costume. And where do you
Age Loki right there?
Silver Age.
Hobo Loki.
Kirby
Loki.
Journey into Mystery 85 Loki.
AARP Loki.
So where do you think he is, man? So the big thing, Matt, we were talking about this off camera, and I saw somebody, I think it was Figure Drawn here, talking about limbo. Do you think they're in limbo, or where are these? Are they all pruned Lokis? Like, what's the deal?
Well, you saw Avengers Tower, right? This is like a dystopian.
Yeah, I saw.
Place. So this is Earth, some kind of Earth position.
I feel like
transported the tower.
Yeah, no, I feel like pruning just goes to the end of one of those apocalypses.
Yeah,
drops everyone off there, and that's what's happening.
A place where they're going to die. That's why they tell them you will die unless you come with us.
They never, because they've always said prune. They never said we're going to kill you, we're going to disintegrate you. Nothing. It was just we're going to prune you.
Yeah, they put them to one of those meaningless universes, a dystopian, apocalyptic future that doesn't have the ultimate villain's goal in mind. Right?
Thanos won there.
Yeah.
Or Loki won
the timeline.
Loki won there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe Loki won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loki wins the current timeline.
Or
we're assuming
it's Kang's timeline. This will be the Kang reveal. Welcome to my timeline. I'm looking to get. I will eat a shoe if next episode this is Kang's timeline and Loki breaks him out.
Wow, that's
I won't eat a shoe.
You gotta stop making these promises, bro.
So this is kind of what I was thinking too, but I think I watched a video. I think New Rockstars, and they were kind of pointing out that it's the Avengers Tower post Endgame. It's not the Tony Stark Tower. It's the one that has the helipad thing and all that. So I like that theory. I think that that would be cool, but I don't know, man. It might not be based on that version of the tower.
Oh, Kale, what's Kale talking about? Look at that comment.
What's going on with my buddy Kale? Considering Battle World to be revealed, negative. Well, not negative zone, but I think Battle World, man, maybe a possibility.
Battle World, really? That's really complex for comic book readers.
Yeah, that's a little too far. So not yet. Not
Could
yet,
be Limbo.
right?
To this day, not every comic book reader knows what happened in Battle World.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the limbo thing that word might come up, which then, unfortunately, Benny, it leads us back to Immortus, which is a version of Kang. So I could see them saying Immortus, since the big reveal Kang isn't going to be till Ant-Man, But Immortus, nobody really cares about. But that kind of ties into the comics a little bit. It gives us a villain. It gives us somebody that controls time. Because they got to give us somebody.
Gary, why are you thinking Immortus? Because Immortus is Kang after he meets up with the Timekeepers, which in this reality are fake, and then gets like godlike powers, which is not going to happen. So why Immortus? I'm just curious.
I think Immortus because it's going to because we're not going to get Kang.
I think that's a cool idea. The whole Immortus Kang thing is so freaking wild and out there.
They can write it any way they want.
But check this out. So
no offense, but they make these shows for muggles,
So here's the thing: they show up in this destroyed New York. They have variant Lokis. We know there's a President Loki. I mean, this has got to be where President Loki is reigning, right? I mean, maybe he's not head of the TVA. Maybe
that's where he's reigning. No, they have to pull him out of there, right? Like that, because they said you got to leave with us or you're gonna die. Come with me or you're gonna die.
Again, so you get pruned, but you really just temp-padded to another place. That's
thrown to a garbage universe that they're going to come and put a time bomb in or something and blow up, something like that.
So I mean,
I'm not falling for your theory because last time you said that we were getting a big enchantment that Loki enchanted the other Loki.
That was Michael Roman's fault. He had me thinking that, man.
Yeah,
and my entire theory was based on Gem's theory. I just want to put it out there. Gem tweaked my brain. He enchanted me to loudly promote his theory.
Entire theory was
there's a huge plot hole with them. The TVA sending these individuals to a place that's going to see that they'll see their demise in, when this whole narrative has been about going to dystopian places that are about to get blown up and then everyone dies. And the whole point of that is to protect the sacred timeline. Why wouldn't they send them to those places? Lamentus. Send them all to Lamentus. You'll be fine.
They just shoot them in the head.
Because now we don't know. We don't know who's behind it. And I want to point out that I was right. The Timekeepers are not real. I didn't think we were going to see them. We saw the versions that they wanted us to see, but they weren't real. But yeah, it's whoever's in charge. I mean,
wait, hold on. Let's go to Matt. Way back in the first episode where we all did this, there was a fourth Timekeeper. Is it possible that he took charge? And now there's only one?
Maybe. I mean, it's possible, right? I mean,
but why the deception? Why is it one Timekeeper has to make 3 fake Timekeepers to do the thing that he's trying to do?
Maybe they took out the Timekeepers. Maybe they actually existed at one point. So now, you know what?
We're back to match all those statues that are there. Please.
Didn't one of you guys say that this was written by the Rick and Morty guys?
Right, yeah.
Okay, we just had the Rick and Morty episode where he had all the copycat Ricks. And that's a normal thing.
What if this episode?
Yeah.
It's a great one. It's great.
It's a great episode, but either way, what I'm getting at is, what if you're 100% right, Gary? What if it's just a Timekeeper made 3 more Timekeepers, and they made the TVA, and that's it?
They killed the decoys.
I actually like Guy's theory, where you already have all these 3 Timekeepers everywhere. If they went down to 1 Timekeeper, the interior design team would just be busy forever, knocking down 2 statues to leave 1. And it's hard to hold the table up with just 1 Timekeeper. At least if you have 3,
you need 3 legs, a tripod.
Yeah. Right. There's got to be somebody that's in charge of all of this, because this is a lot of orchestration and propaganda to be beyond.
Right. Someone's behind
it's a really good question, though. Why the deception? Why the deception? Like, if they keep talking about, I'm so tired of Loki. I've been dealing with Loki, this and that. A Loki telling other TVA agents to hunt down other Lokis seems fishy. So he has to create.
It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all.
Loki's all about deception.
But that's why they make that's why this evil Loki, who is the villain, makes this whole deception of the Timekeepers. Right?
It's the plot to okay, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead. Finish. Go.
I was gonna say, because everyone knows what a Loki is. So a Loki can't take control. So you make 3 omnipotent gods that do everything and hide behind them.
Exactly. That's the point to why you have to have the deception, because it is a Loki.
It's got to be a Loki. It's got to be.
I fell for the enchantment theory. I'm not falling for this one, even though it's the enchantment one.
Maybe it's an enchantment. They're enchanted all along, or whatever.
No.
It's gonna go back to that moment.
I agree.
Sylvie.
I 100% agree with you. I'll say 99%. But why Ravonna Renslayer then? If we know how much she's connected to Kang, why use that character and make
us make videos about it?
That's a huge middle finger because why use this character?
This a ton. They do this all the time. They just throw a random name in. That's what I mean. They didn't want to. They throw random names in there because they want all the comic nerds to be like, they know we exist.
True.
Twitch for
Oh, go ahead.
Twitch for $2 saying, "What if they are trying to bring the TKs back?" I'm lost on what the TKs are.
Timekeepers.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's keep.
There's already a multiverse.
There should be been a multiverse.
Clearly there is. That planet is clearly not part of the timeline, but just nobody knows it. It's out there.
Isn't it though?
They just keep pruning it.
No.
They just keep cutting each variant. Like there should be a multiverse. And somebody, a Loki, is making sure there's one timeline with one ultimate result. The whole point is Loki always loses. So the villain is a Loki trying to manipulate everything so that he wins.
Plus, it plays into the themes of the show. Loki chasing Loki to discover that there are 4 more Lokis, and there's more Lokis in the trailer that we don't even know about.
Right.
Like the whole show is Loki. Look at the logo; it changes into multiple Lokis.
It's in the name.
I feel like you guys are teaming up to force me to believe what you're saying.
I'm trying to get you to drink my Kool-Aid, guy.
All right, look,
we need Michael Roman back.
Check this out.
Mike does that enough, man, and you wore the fucking Kool-Aid shirt too.
Yeah, drink it.
We're gonna go final thoughts, and we're gonna go grades, and we're gonna start with Gary. And if I don't take a bathroom break, I'm gonna pop right now. So just if Gary gets done, Matt, you go, and I'll be right back.
All right. I love it.
All right. So here's my final thoughts. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. I've been so wrong from the beginning of this. I got nothing. I don't know. What's a good grade?
Gary, I just want to say I'm only here to mess with you. I'm literally only on the show to mess with you at this point. Gem was like, "You want to come back?" And I'm like, "I love messing with Gary, so I'm just gonna."
You know what? I'm gonna go a 7.5. I hope they finish really strong. I don't want it to be a Loki because I want to be. I like those oh shit moments, don't you? Like oh
yeah,
I like that. And it's not. I'm not going to have that moment now because of you, and it's going to be a Loki.
Oh,
so I'm a 7.5. Matt, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, Gem left us in charge. That's probably a calculated mistake, I'm going to say, but I'll try to keep it clean. I'm going to go 8.5 on this one. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more the second time around, to be honest with you. I want to bring it down half a grade because it didn't clean up number 3. Benny, you know, I'm with you there on number 3, but
it didn't.
Don't get him started.
I'm going down in flames.
I thought they had a good answer to 3, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it still might be, there still might be an explanation out there, and I'm going to go down in flames. I don't care. I'm going down with the ship. There's more. This is the series that we get a reveal, and it may not be a monster one, but it's going to be a new character. And it may be a one and done character. It may be a character we never talk about again. But I'm going down with the ship on this one. I'm going to ride it out. And if I'm wrong, Benny. But I'm going to say that there's more than just a Loki. Maybe it's just my hope that it is, but we'll see what happens.
I do want to say, I do believe you more than myself because you guys are much better at finding Easter eggs. You mentioned the Alberta, Canada thing, and that I didn't even catch that. I'm just like
Wolverine's running everything.
It's Wolverine the whole goddamn time.
It's James Howlett.
You guys are much better at figuring this stuff out than me. I'm just saying Loki because it's easy.
But that's what they'll
Benny,
go
our
with.
channel is small. We only have 5,000 subscribers, so it's much easier for us to spend time on it.
We've already gone off the rails, Jim. We're sorry.
No, actually, I still heard everybody in there. Gary gave it 8.5. Matt was trying to get me in trouble.
You're taking a whiz
discussions. Damn it, Jim.
God damn it. All right, Guy.
Now I'm good for another hour. What do you got? So who are we on? We on Guy now?
Guy.
All right. What do you got, Guy?
I'm just fucking confused, man.
Guy, I love you, man. I love you, Guy. By the way, I got some great Kool-Aid for you. Are you thinking Loki or are you thinking Kang?
I feel like I had a grasp on WandaVision better than this show.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gary. And I was coming into this going, you know what? Oh, this clears things up. And you guys just went and freaking bashed me in the head. Like I don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
That's why we do this.
Between PC over there and Benny, I'm going. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. I think I'm just gonna sit here and go. I'm gonna give it an 8 because that's what I've given every episode so far. I think. I don't.
You
I don't
can't
think
tell me. Hold on. Wait a minute. So this episode was as good as episode 3.
Do you have our scores written down?
Come on, guy.
I don't even know what I gave episode 3.
He's saying that overall he thinks Loki's an 8. Just he's going to give it.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you for saving me on that.
Lokis.
There's 8 Lokis.
And Guy's favorite number is 8, by the way. Just so you guys know.
That's a good number.
Here's a question, Benny. What size shoe do you wear?
11.
Okay,
I was hoping it was 8.
No, I just want to know how long. If he wears an 8, that's funny. But like, I want to know how long it's going to take you to fucking eat that thing, because I can't wait to see that. Okay.
Yes, Guy.
I cannot wait for it.
I'm just gonna get a shoe.
I want you to
made out of
sit
one
there
of
with
those
a fork and a
TikTok
knife, like soak that thing, get some hot sauce. I don't know, but it's gonna be funny.
I don't know how long this will take. I mean,
it's fine. It's fine.
Start when we start the episode.
Is the show doing wonders? No, I don't think so. I think we were obviously expecting a lot more. Is it coming? I don't know. I think that's the sad part. We don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, but that's the point of Loki, isn't it?
Right, misdirection.
Maybe.
He's got a mischief. It's in the name.
it's gonna be Thor in the end. It's gonna be Thor's gonna show up.
keep me in that tornado. Keep it going. Obviously, it's fun. We're talking about it, so it means something. So yeah, 8. Let's move on. Tom,
giving it a 9. I want to know in the chat too what everyone thinks as well. I'm seeing some numbers in here, but not nearly enough. I want to know if I'm wrong here, but I think this is probably the best episode so far, in my opinion. And I've been giving my numbers based off of the series in general. But just because I give it a 9 doesn't mean that it's like compared to others that I would put it up to that caliber. But I still think we're getting Kang, and maybe that's just wishful thinking. But
thank you.
Too much little things. Kang is coming. He was the first villain that we really knew was coming into the MCU since.
It's been a while now, right?
It's been a while, right? So. I think there's a good chance, but you know what? I'll give it a 9.
Can I make one more point before not to go back? Sorry, but
not at all.
I really think it was the Gator who was talking, by the way.
I hope so.
I like that idea, so I'll go with you on that one, guy. I'm giving it the Gator.
Right,
we don't know that it wasn't, basically.
It was the fucking Gator, all right? He was talking. He's like, come with me. I'm the Gator.
Come with me if you want to live. I'm from Florida. Robbie, what do you got?
I'm going to give it the same one I gave the last episode. I thought the last episode was okay. Technically, it's directed well for the most part. It looks pretty. The music is fantastic. The acting is great. I really want to highlight once again Owen Wilson, whoever the lady is that plays B-15, and Tom Hiddleston and whoever plays Sylvia. They're really good at delivering with what they've got. I just feel like this show has started with a bang. It was the best first episode we've had of an MCU show yet. And I think each episode's gotten progressively worse, but I still think they're good. And we're talking about them. And I like that we're sharing our theories. Is it Kang? Is it a Loki? I mean, it's totally a Loki, but I think that aside from that, we can have our theories, we can be wrong, but it's just so much fun talking about this, and which makes it to me better than other series. So 7 to me, which I think is a slight on the series because it keeps digressing, but I kind of put it on the same level as last because there's some character work and whatnot, but it could reach higher and further, but at least it's more exciting than, to me, 90% of what's on television and streaming services right now. So I'll still give it a 7.
You're giving it, you said it's worse than before, and you just saw classic Kirby on screen.
That's why it's not a 6. That's why it's a 7. Otherwise, it would have kept going down.
Silver Age Loki.
I know Richard E. Grant. If you would have given me the whole show of Richard E. Grant as Kirby Loki, 10s across the board. So I don't care what they do.
Fallen Hero for $10 says 7.5. I don't see any reveal. It's going to be another Agatha situation all over again. These shows aren't for comic fans. It's Disney after all. Disney caters to the masses as they should. I mean, they don't want the hundreds of thousands of comic fans. They want the millions of casual fans, right? Or Disney Plus subscribers.
It was Loki all along.
Hey, I'm just saying, still, as fun as this has been, I still enjoyed WandaVision more. And I may be crazy. We still have 2 episodes left. So
I'm with you, Gary. I think they did something different with WandaVision, and they actually really did some good character development there.
Yeah, I like
the Quicksilver stuff, Gary. Is that what you're saying? You really enjoyed all the twists and turns there?
I love the twists and turns, man.
I will say that.
Kang.
See, the thing with WandaVision is we didn't really know much about Scarlet Witch and Vision, and we got a lot of development with them. But Loki we already know all of this stuff about him, really. Now, Sylvie, we didn't get anything from her in episode 3. Now we kind of got her humility. Is that what I'm trying to say? But not really that much. So, yeah, you're right. WandaVision, the character development was insane, man.
We fell in love with Scarlet Witch and Vision, two whatever characters. Yeah, I mean, C-listers. You could make the argument that
they were backstage characters.
Loki.
Yeah, so
we've known Loki for a long time. So what could they possibly do? And we all love Mobius, right? Owen Wilson. But I like the mystery behind WandaVision more than Loki so far. But there's 2 episodes left, and I could totally eat my words. I won't eat my shoe, but I will eat my words if I have to. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Benny.
Wayne Watts for $5 says best episode yet, but it's starting to make Falcon and Winter Soldier look better and better. 8, but old PGX, so you don't know the real grade until it's cracked. Okay, Wayne. I got you.
Okay. New theory, new insane theory. I got this. I got this. It's going to be a callback to when Sylvie said, "Don't call me Loki." It is going to be a Loki, but he's going to end it by going, "Don't call me Loki. I go by Kang now."
You had me until Kang. Because she could say, "I go by Enchantress."
Anything. Yeah. But
that's
I actually,
that's not bad. I got to be honest.
It worked.
It does work.
They're not going to make Kang a Loki.
No
way.
They're not going to do that.
Tom, that was the saddest thing ever. That was the saddest thing ever. Like, they better not. They better not.
They wouldn't.
They're going to be eating my shoe too, if that's the case.
He shows up. He's like, "Call me Victor Von Doom." I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with all of it. I'm done with all of it.
Just flip everything. Fuck it.
All right, Benny, what you got? Final thoughts, grade.
I'm giving this one 9 out of 10. I do think I think the series went 1 was awesome, 2 was pretty good, 3 was terrible, but 4 redeemed it. 3, I gave it a 3. The problem I have with 3 still holds though. All of this character development we got in 4, which is what I wanted. I wanted the character development. I didn't want the fights and stuff. I'm not watching Loki to watch him be the master of knives and pull out 2 blades. I'm watching him to be tricky and have it character driven. That's what I want. All the fighting and stuff, that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. I want to see them do the guns, the fighting and stuff. Loki, I want to see it like WandaVision. I want to see it like I want to see a character driven plot. I want to see this kind of stuff. In 3 just did nothing. And all of it was in 4. It just needed to be paced better. 4 was incredible.
Pretty. I thought 3 looked great.
It did look good, and maybe they were just showing off the graphics before they go to the circle room. I don't know.
I just want to know who's shitting your Cheerios, Benny.
I gave it a 9, guys.
I love the Benny. The Benny Guy feud, man, is amazing.
I gave it a 9, guy. Fine, I give it a Loki out of 10. Is that better, guy?
I'm with you. I definitely I enjoyed this episode. So many reveals. That's why I like the payoff. So this was a big payoff episode. There were some things I didn't really like about it. I didn't like them pruning Mobius. I didn't like them pruning Loki just to show that he's not really dead. That was kind of cheap. Like, why even do it? Just for that 30-second or however long.
It reminded me of Peter Parker's death when they immediately said, "Nope, he's still alive in the brain."
Yeah, exactly. Right during the slot run. So it's kind of like I didn't like those things, but I really love the episode. I'm torn between like an 8 and a 9. I think I'm feeling more of an 8 overall on this episode. I really did like it a lot. I loved seeing Owen Wilson back and him sticking it to the man, going against the TVA. He wants that damn jet ski, and I don't know. I just feel like it was a fun, revealing episode. I watched it again this morning to take down my notes. I cannot wait for episode 5. I want to see what happens with these variant Lokis. Where the hell even are they? What happens when you get pruned and all these things? So it's got me amped up to see what happens next. So I think that's a good
and what are you going to say? And what possibly is Benny going to eat if nothing happens in the next episode too?
There's no way nothing happens. I think he can make a bet on he'll cancel his Disney Plus subscription if nothing happens.
No, I like Disney Plus, man. I still gotta watch Raja.
You gotta watch the X-Men animated series.
I watch the X-Men animated series.
I have to watch that too.
Yeah, but I
don't have that many emails, man.
I definitely think Loki is the big bad. I think it's Loki all along. It has to be. I don't think we get any Kang or Immortal stuff. You guys can mark the timestamp on this thing. I definitely am on board with the Loki theory. So just my 2 cents on that.
Can I present a theory that was in my chat? They did
got
for it. Temple of Gods in my chat asked, I think Renslayer killed, pruned the Timekeepers, and took over with fake ones, and that the big bad is actually Mobius or a previous one that found out the truth and got pissed.
I like that. That's just crazy enough to work.
It's another Owen Wilson. Yeah, that's a really good.
And then Owen Wilson goes, I'm not Mobius, I'm Kang.
Wow.
Kang's the new Mephisto. With a C. With a C.
I definitely I definitely think that multiple Mobius is something that I thought ever since he was having that first meeting with her with the coaster thing. So I'm totally with that. I'm sorry, Robbie, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think we're still going to get multiple Mobiuses, but I hope if he is the villain, it's him particularly from Zoolander.
Like wow. He's so hot.
Oh my God, that would be great.
I will say this, as hopeful I am for Kang, we didn't get Mephisto in WandaVision. We didn't get Omega Red in Falcon Winter Soldier, and we may not get Kang, but at least we know Kang is coming, so it makes more sense than the other two.
I agree with Matt. I agree with Matt, and maybe we're gonna get like a My Cousin Vinny moment, Matt, and he's gonna say, Kang's dead. I'm Kang with a C. C-A-N-G.
I'm going to disagree with Guy just because.
Because he's Benny, and at this point, they have to disagree. So
the only part there, Gary, you're missing is that we see the Sphinx. I'm gonna still wait for that, man. Rama-Tut. It's his time machine, traveling from centuries in the future.
Yeah, I think me, Tom, and Matt are on the same page with the Kang, Rama-Tut, and I'm saying Immortus just to throw him in. But there's multiple. Right? How many Kangs do we have?
Man.
What if it's Iron Lad?
Yeah,
could be,
dude.
That counts.
It is more likely to be Iron Lad than any of these other random ones that we've come up with.
They're building into Young Avengers. We know this. They're doing Young Avengers. We know this. Maybe it's Iron Lad the whole time.
That would be insane. I'll eat my other shoe.
I'm sending Benny new shoes just so
you're eating one shoe, by the way, at least one.
So that sounds like a good place to stop for now. Definitely, I want to thank everyone for coming through, everyone on the panel, everybody watching live on both channels, on this channel, on Comic Storian. And I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who came through. And first of all, Fee wants to say hello.
Oh,
Gary, you want to let them know who you are, where they can find you, what do you got going on?
You could head over to Very Gary Comics if you want. It's okay if you don't. I drop videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's video, I picked up I buy comic book collections and we go through them, and then we send some stuff to CGC. We unbox them. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. So come on over. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, we do live auctions once a month over on Gary's channel. The biggest comic book live auction on YouTube. We just did one. It was amazing. And I just met up with somebody in person who bought a slab that lives in my city. So that was kind of cool.
So none for July, though, because we do have Terrific Con in July. So we don't have an auction coming this month.
Matt
Forrest, guys live in New York? You guys all live there, right?
They live in the Northeast. I'm in Texas.
Oh, that makes sense.
Matt and Guy, since you guys are part of the same channel, why don't you guys give your shout outs and where they can find you?
Yeah, Pressable Defects on YouTube. There's 3 of us. We're missing Jay the Butcher tonight, but we do new comic book review previews. So you get the reviews with Gem, you get the previews with us on Mondays, and then we do some spec videos. We actually just dropped one where we found the first comic book appearance of Rick Mason just in time for Black Widow. So go check it out. And we just hit we're about to hit 5,000 subs, and we got a nice giveaway on the channel, giving away a ton of stuff. Nice. So check us out if you want. Search Pressable Defects and you'll find us.
Cool. Guy, you echoing the same sentiments or what?
That about wraps it up.
Tom, what do you got going on?
I agree with that, Guy.
I knew you would.
Wrap it up. There's more.
What do you got,
I think Benny's a variant of me.
Oh.
Here we go.
I'm actually Kang.
And Guy's Immortus.
And Iron Lad.
Comic Talk 101 on YouTube. Chat Expensive Paper. We got Overstreet Price Guide Advisors. We got specialists on the show. We talk about comics every day. GemMint's on the show too.
Tom, no matter how many subs are in the chat on these channels, Tom is still the celebrity. Shout out to Comics Tom 101. I do a show over there with him as well. Top 10 hottest back issues of the week. We kill it. Zorro's a master editor, and Shaylin and Slav as well. Robbie, what's up, brother?
Yo, you can find us over at Pop Culture Philosophers. We do the weekly comic book review. I do the top 10 with Jim on his channel, but PCP Movie Night, every Friday night, we do movie reviews. We're about to start at the top of the hour, kicking off Action Fest 2021, because it's the summer's time, right? And it's time for action movies. And we're starting it with the best Sylvester Stallone action film of all time, agreed by at least 20% of the population, Cobra. So
I was going to say,
Cobra.
Is
Cobra.
that your? I saw your little avatar.
Cobra,
and I'm like, is that Cobra?
That's awesome. It is Cobra.
Robbie, what's the quote from Cobra about crime is a virus?
Crime is a disease, and I am the cure. Nice. This movie is so stupid, and I love it so much, man. So,
it's great.
Hell yeah.
And Benny, thanks for coming on. Thanks for streaming on your channel as well. I guess for anybody who doesn't know, if you want to give them where they can find you, what you got going on, type of thing.
I'm Norman on the Comic Historian channel. I work on a new channel, Absolutely Marvel and DC, where I basically just do this with my own group of friends. But everyone watching on Comic Story, they've all got their names in the chat here, so go to them. Don't worry about me. So
can Guy show up on Absolute Comics with you and your friends?
Yeah, why not? You guys can come out anytime.
All I got out of that is we're not your friends.
No, Matt, you're welcome, but you can't bring
Thank you. All right, no problem. We're only related. It's not by choice, so I'm good with that.
I have a brother too, man. I know how it is.
cousin. So I mean, it's
not even that close. All right, guys. Thanks everybody watching live. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for everyone who's watching on Comic Historian and talking Loki episode 4 with us. I, for one, can't wait for episode 5. Same time next week. We'll be here doing a live discussion. Thanks for watching on the replay. Man, you guys stay minty fresh. Peace out.
And on Comic Story, I'll be here if they invite me back. I'm trying real hard to get kicked off.
Peace out.